am so excited about this week's episode, you know, because we actually really went for it this week and we did like a pre-Arsenal Man U chit-chat and we've like fully gone for it this week and it was some really good games to talk about.
I'm going to say we went for it like 99% because we didn't do an Instagram live, which we decided we were going to do on the last episode, and then through the course of the week came to the conclusion that it wasn't the moment for it.
No, it was a roller coaster, Sarah, because actually...
Twas.
Because we, on the Thursday, were like, can't wait for this tomorrow, how fun is this going to be? Friday morning, how are you feeling about it? I'm feeling a bit... Friday afternoon, I don't think I can do it. Friday night, we're not doing this. You can't do it.
Well, it ended up being a really good thing because your kitchen exploded in the middle of the game. But also because I'm actually more excited to do it for the Chelsea City game.
So April 25th, we are going to go for it and we're going to plan it properly. And putting it out there now to all the Man City and Chelsea fans, if any of you are feeling confident enough, drop us a DM on Twitter at the Woso Show. We'd love to bring you on during the game as like a, how are you feeling? Oh my God, what a goal. And we can plan it so that, you know, we bring people in and we have little 5-minute chats during the game so people can live stream and they can watch us over on Instagram as well. I think it'd be really fun, right, Sarah?
It's going to be really fun. We're going to have like some running commentary with City and Chelsea fans in the chat with us, so it's going to be like all of us hanging out in the living room together watching the game.
And obviously neither Sarah and I are Chelsea and Man City fans, are we, Sarah? Because like obviously both of us like don't have a team or an affiliation.
You know, so this is actually going to be the perfect way to just fully publicly expose you, as if we haven't already publicly exposed you a million times. But you're going to be on Instagram Live during a City game, and you're not going to be able to hide it.
We forgot to say, we're the Women's Soccer Show. My name's Helen.
My name's Sarah.
Let's get on with the show.
Well, should we move from one Manchester team to the other?
Okay, first of all, guys, we had a little pre-chat, so let's give you a little bit of our pre-chat, and you can hear the existential crisis that Sarah goes through. It made my night. So let's go over to that now. So what time is it, Sarah?
It's game time.
We are a few minutes before kickoff. The lineups have been announced. So we wanted to like come on before kickoff, just say how we felt about the lineup, say how we felt generally about the game. Just to say, this game is huge. They both come off the back of really good wins in recent weeks. So I really feel like this is a massive, massive game tonight. So I guess the question for you, Sarah, these both being your teams that you...
Don't ask me. Just don't ask me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Just do it. You can do it. 7 minutes to go. Who's going to win and who are you supporting?
Oh, God. Okay, well, who's going to win? We put out a Twitter poll. It's been going on for about 24 hours, a little more. 57% of you said Arsenal was going to win, to only 43% saying Man U is going to win. So the masses actually have their money on the number 4 seed over the number 3 seed.
Yeah, I think that's quite wild. So Kim Little's back, straight back as El Capitano for Arsenal. And then the one that I think is super exciting, Casey Stoney's decision to play Lauren James and Kristen Press.
Wow. I'm saying Casey Stoney really wants to win this game. I mean, that's the beauty of Kristen Press. She can play the target or she can play the left wing. I personally think she's better on the wing than she is at the target position.
What's wild for me about the Man United lineups, Casey Stoney reminds me of Pep Guardiola, simply in that you never know what lineup is going to come out and somebody can have a good week and then not make it. I cannot believe Hayley Ladd is not starting. Are you shocked?
I was just going to say that. I'm upset, to be honest. I'm pretty upset.
It's wild.
I know we have the lineups, but I really want to see is the formation.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun game. It's going to be great soccer.
Yeah. Final word before we go to the game. We've got 4 minutes.
I'm thinking, I genuinely haven't thought this through. I've been so caught up in the emotions and my heart being torn apart into 2 pieces. Okay, I think it's going to be a 2-1. You know, it very well could be a draw, but I know that you're not going to let me get away with calling it a draw.
I think it's going to be 2-1 too. I think that Beth Mead is going to score because she's not been given much game time. This is a big game for her to grab her opportunity, and she's mint. So I think Beth Mead scores the winner. We have 1 minute, so we're going to go, but we'll catch you after the game and give you a full review. I'm buzzing,
yeah,
mate.
Yeah, let's do it!
Okay, hands up. I know that I talk a lot of chat. I think that I'm the dog's bollocks, and I know loads of stuff about football. How hilarious.
Just say you were wrong. Just say you were wrong.
How hilarious that I said Beth Mead was going to be like the star player.
Well, give us a little window into how you felt when she got sent off with her second yellow card.
If I'm honest, because neither of these teams really hang in the balance for me, I laughed out loud because I'm willing to like hold my hands up. Just like we'll come on to the Champions League in a minute, but just like with my Barcelona obsession, I'm not stood here going, I'm like Jesus and I can read the future. But I just laughed out loud, and Kelly was like, what is so funny? And I was like, I said Beth was going to score the winner. She just got sent off.
I will say, we both predicted a 2-1 score. It very easily could have been 2-1. Frankly, it could have been a 2-2 draw. I did have a slight existential crisis. I stress ate a lot of Cheez-Its. I didn't actually end up picking a side to root for. And you know what? I'm okay with that. But it's not about me. It's not about Helen and her guessing Beth Mead would have a wonderful match. It's about Manchester United and Arsenal. To me, Helen, this was a game of, first of all, of two different halves. The first half and the second half were like two different games. So the first half, aside from the one goal that Arsenal put away, which is a big deal, but aside from that, Manchester United owned this half for me. It was a terrible, terrible mistake to go down 1-0 in the first 3 minutes, and I would say from that, maybe Arsenal owned the first 5 minutes. But from there, Manchester United was dominant. They found so much space in the midfield, so much space in the middle of the field, and they created opportunities that, frankly, any other day, any other game, they have capitalized on before. Lauren James finds herself top of the 18, one-on-one with the keeper, and skies it over the net. Kristen Press finds herself one-on-one at the side of the box. A goal she scored a million times before, hits it right to the goalie. So they had their opportunities. They couldn't capitalize on them. To me, what happened in the first half is that Arsenal's midfield seemed to be so concerned with helping their defense defend the speed up top with Kristen Press and Lauren James that they collapsed on each other, and their lines were completely collapsed. And that's why you saw Manchester United have the time and the space that they had to possess. You look at that field and you're like, is this even a regulation size field? Why does this look so much bigger for Manchester United? They had so much space. So it really was a tale of two halves, because frankly, second half, Man U came out flat and Arsenal dominated.
There's a certain irony to what you're saying, though, because the first Arsenal goal obviously came in, was it the third minute? And it came from taking possession off Manchester United on that left wing and really like pressing really, really high, meaning that, to be honest, for the life of me, I can't remember who they dispossessed to take the ball up the field for then Ruud to get her shot away. However, they dispossessed her, and it was because she'd looked up and there was no Manchester United player free available for her to pass it to get out of trouble. So she was just stuck there, basically. What she should have done is just booted it as hard as she could and got rid of it. But that was from Arsenal pressing. So credit where credit's due. They pressed in those first few minutes, got a goal from it. I think when they got their goal, it could have actually been a disaster for Arsenal, because scoring early in a game can actually have a detrimental effect sometimes.
Well, not as much as going down early in a game.
Yeah, that's true. I think I know which team I'd rather be on. But sometimes you can rest on your laurels and there's 2-3 minutes gone in a game. You've really got to kind of focus and maintain your game plan, whatever your game plan is. But yeah, I feel like you were right. I feel like Manchester United only had themselves to blame going in at half time. And again, there's a slight irony to that, because obviously Casey Stoney was blaming everyone but the Manchester United players. She was really frustrated with that referee performance. And I just wanted to know what you thought going in at half time as kind of a neutral. Did you think she had a point to be angry at the referee at half time for them targeting Lauren James? Do you think that was valid, or how did you see it?
I didn't pick up on that, to be honest. I really didn't. And targeting is a really strong word. I feel like that has a lot of deeper implications to it. Look, as a U.S. Women's National Team fan, like I flash back to the USA versus Spain game in the 2019 World Cup. And Spain's main tactic to defend against our front line was to just put a body on Alex Morgan. Just like rough her up as much as possible. Don't let her control the ball. Just play physical, because she plays tactically. And that happens, and that sucks, and that's really hard, and sometimes you have to change your game plan around the fact that the other team's doing that. So, no, to answer bluntly, I didn't pick up on any of that. I really didn't.
I completely agree with you, to be honest. And it is a bit of a game plan that you're going to get, especially with young players. And I'm not being ageist, but you are going to get managers going, I don't care if she's got a great temperament or not. She's 18, 19, 20 years old. Go out and wind her up because she's probably more likely to snap. And if they were doing that, which I personally didn't see, at the end of the day, she had a one-on-one with the keeper, so they can't have been that close to her. I don't think that it was illegal what they were doing. You know, they weren't doing anything beyond the rules or the realms of the game. And I feel like putting it out there, it was the first time I've seen Casey Stoney really quite lose her cool, where it was like beyond, for me, beyond acceptable. It was like, look at your team in the eye because they're the ones that have missed chances. You know, you only have your team to blame. Like getting angry at Arsenal for being physical and getting angry at the referee for not carding them for being physical is silly to me. But then, flashing forward, I personally think that the referee went into that second half with, you know, in the back of her mind, the words of one of England's greatest players, one of the most respected managers in English football, going away in the back of her head, because it wasn't a first yellow for Beth Mead.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I get really annoyed if we come out of a game talking about the referee. Like, the referee didn't make or break this game for Arsenal or Man U. She didn't lose the game for Man U, and she didn't win the game for Arsenal. So, like, why is this the discussion? If I'm Arsenal, I'm talking about why Manchester United was able to dominate us for 40 minutes, for 40 of the first 45 minutes. And if I'm Manchester United, I'm talking about why we didn't capitalize on how come we didn't capitalize on our opportunities, and what do we have to do from here?
I'm not saying that it changed the game, because actually Manchester United, after Beth Mead got sent off, were anonymous for the final 20 minutes. They had an opportunity there, a real opportunity. But let's say they had utilised that opportunity, we would be talking about Beth Mead sending off being a complete game changer. And I did feel like something changed the perception of the referee, because I think it was Leah Valti, Katie McCabe and Beth Mead got cards. So they ended up giving 4 cards out, 2 to Beth Mead, 1 to Valti and 1 to McCabe. And Manchester United, by the way, got 0 cards, and they both fouled each other the same amount of times. I know it didn't end in anything. I don't know, it didn't end up in some sort of amazing surge by Manchester United where they completely dominated the last 20 and grabbed a goal or grabbed 2 goals. They did get an offside goal, but it could have changed the game. And I just think, you're right. I don't want to talk about the referee. I don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but I do think those words maybe sunk into the referee and maybe changed her perception of the second half.
Like, frankly, and like you said, as kind of a neutral, my heart is torn because I love them both so much. Yellow cards are given, sometimes deserved, sometimes not deserved. Beth Mead's second yellow was fully deserved, and at that point, she knew she was on a yellow. That was really stupid. So it's not even a conversation for me.
Yeah, true. We were saying to each other, weren't we, on text that night, even if your first yellow was for nothing and you didn't deserve it, you've then got to be careful. And she wasn't. She was idiotic. Yeah. She dived in. It was stupid.
It was not smart when you're up 2-0 nonetheless. So, I mean, let's talk about that second half, because a lot happened. We kind of touched on the first half. Arsenal goes up 1-0 in the first 3 minutes. Man U dominates for the next 40. Can't put one away. We go into halftime and we come back. I'm expecting Manchester United to come out and charge full steam ahead. And then they don't. They come out flat-footed. Arsenal really starts to dominate this half. And then we see what I think was the goal that took the wind out of the sail for Manchester United. Do you want to talk about that second goal from Arsenal? It was a stunner.
Well, I love talking about Lotte Wolvenboy because I love Wolvenboy. Firstly, our entire family are Gooners. They're all Arsenal fans. So she even like slapped her chest when she scored the headed corner goal. You could see that it didn't just mean something to her on like a getting into the Champions League position sort of like way, or charging towards Champions League, I should say. But it also, she's proud. This is like, and then on top of it all, she really had stepped up for this game because she obviously only got her place in the squad because of the missing Leah Williamson. So this young girl's been given her opportunity playing for her club, and she's player of the match and scores the freaking winner, man.
So tell us about the goal.
So corner situation. From what I recall, it was a sloppy corner to give away. It swings in and she just rises higher than everyone else. But it's a bullet of a header. She really puts her entire body behind it. You can see she just places it so perfectly And Mary Earps just doesn't stand a chance, frankly.
Yeah, beautiful goal. She beat her defender to the ball, rose up higher, and put it away really strongly.
Same old story, though, for Man United, because they just cannot bloody defend set pieces. Like,
they can't.
It's just ridiculous now. I just don't understand how one of the tallest players on the pitch has essentially a free header in the box, and they're not a small team, Man United. Just seems absolutely crazy to me.
Casey Stoney actually touched on that. She did say after the game, quote, "I think in spells we were really bright, but we can't start like we did. Our comfortable possession, and then we turn it over really early, and that just puts us straight on the back foot in a game where we really didn't want to be on the back foot. It was really about trying to keep a clean sheet for as long as possible, and that didn't help us." She went on to say that we really grew in the game. We created positive moments and positive chances, and those moments change games if you take them. And then we concede from a set piece. So it's a problem for them, and it came out here. And frankly, it came out in a terrible time for Manchester United. So 6 minutes into halftime, and you're thinking, okay, Manchester United, they've got a full 45 to pull one through. And then Arsenal come in 6 minutes into the second half with just a stunner. And I think that really took the wind out of Manchester United's sails. And then you fast forward 11 minutes. Beth Mead gets a second yellow. Arsenal goes down to 10 players, and you're thinking, now this has got to be it. Now we're going to see a full force attack for the next 30 minutes. We're going to see Manchester United throw everybody they have at Arsenal. I didn't understand why she didn't immediately put fresh legs on the field. If I'm the coach and I see that I'm down 2-0, the other team's got 10 players, I'm putting fresh legs on the field, and I'm saying, I'm going to run your ass.
Can I just say on that, I completely agree. I love her structure, playing in like a 4-2-3-1. Like, Kristen Press is iconic in that position. It worked really well. But when they go down a player, I wonder why she keeps like two deep players in Katie Zellum and Jackie Gruenin, and then brings on like Hayley Ladd, which I would totally do, but I would have started Hayley Ladd personally, and I think I said that in my pre-match. I'm surprised that she didn't, because she's got strength, but also she's their top assister. I didn't know that. Like, she creates, she's a creator. I personally would have gone hell for leather and played like a 4-4-2, changing into a 4-2-4 when you're attacking, like getting two wingers down the up and down that wing and having two people up front, Kristen Press and Jess Sigsworth. And it didn't really look like they did that. I would have kept Lauren James on, brought on another attacker. You're 2-0 down, but this is your chance. You're against 10. And I just felt like, what changed? What changed after that Beth Mead sending off? Like, what changed in what they did in their approach? Nothing. They just changed player for player. And it just seemed a bit lackluster. You were just thinking, have you not got a game plan for if you go 1-2-0 down with 20 minutes to go? Never mind one of their players being sent off, giving you even more of a chance to get back into this. It felt lackluster to me. It felt like a strange decision.
Well, so this result had some implications.
Yeah, it certainly did.
It certainly did. Let's talk about them.
So Man United are in third place now, but as we know from earlier in the season, they had a surge of games where they basically totted up a lot more of the games. So they've still got a game in hand on Arsenal, who've played 16, and Man U have played 17. If Arsenal win their next fixture, which is the North London freaking derby against Spurs, then they take that third place spot, and they take that final Champions League place.
The tables have turned, and Arsenal essentially control their own destiny. If they win out their games, they will have that spot in the Champions League, and Manchester United have to win out their games and hope that Arsenal mess up.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right into the FAWSL. We're going to do a little recap of scores around the league. We had a lot of midweek action this past week. So to recap, Reading and Tottenham tied 0-0. Brighton beat Aston Villa 2-0. With this win and a Reading tie, we see Brighton move ahead of Reading in the table by 1 point and into 6th place with 21 points and 17 games played.
They will be delighted with that, won't they?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
What a brilliant season that they're starting to create. And I think, we were looking at them as a relegation prospect. Now they're climbing above Reading.
The back half of this season is really seeing a lot of changes in teams and who can sustain and who's falling off.
I'm finding the bottom half as exciting as the top half.
Last placed West Ham took on 9th place Birmingham City, with West Ham taking 1 point away from this draw and Bristol City losing. West Ham have now climbed out of last place with 9 points, even with Bristol City, but with a game in hand and a much better goal differential of -18 compared to Bristol City's -47. There were some great goals coming out of this game, right, Helen?
Yes, there were some amazing games in the West Ham and Birmingham City game. And actually, I was really pleased because I'd watched that Reading Tottenham game and I was like, oh man, like, you know, sometimes you just accidentally grab a bit of a flop of a game, one where it's like, ugh. But this West Ham Birmingham game was like a cup final. One thing that I've really started to notice is the power in which the ball is hitting the back of the net in the women's game season on season. And this game, the ball's hitting the back of the net. It was like the net was going to rip in half. That's how like powerful some of these goals were. And my favourite one was swings in from the right hand side and she volleys it in. It was like an FA Cup final, or it was just unbelievable. Like they wanted it so much. And it was the perfect game. 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. You know, like one of those games where it's just such back and forth.
I love that.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. That second goal by West Ham, like nice little layoff. Left-hand side, smashes it across the goalkeeper. Just perfect game. Loved every minute of it. So chuffed to catch that one after a bit of a boring Reading Tottenham game. Whoop, whoop. So let's go around the world. For next season, I'm going to record that. I'm going to do a little jingle on the old piano.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, deal.
In the Spanish Primera División, we saw a shakeup in the top 4. Barcelona remained comfortably in first with 60 points and no losses. We all know how dominant they've been this season. Levante and Real Madrid remain in second and third, respectively, after the two teams clashed this weekend, and Levante took home a 1-0 win and a huge 3 points. This weekend also saw Atletico Madrid fall to 5th place, so dropping out of 4th place into 5th after a 1-0 loss to Sporting Huelva, a middle-of-the-table team. Madrid's CFF took over Atletico Madrid's 4th place spot with 45 points after they took home 3 points this weekend.
And over in the Italian Serie A, Juventus remain top of the table. I'm so shocked. 4 points ahead of the second place Milan with 11 points ahead of third place Sassuolo. I always get Italy and I love saying Sassuolo.
I know, I really wanted to give you Italy so you could say Sassuolo.
Oh, Han, thank you. All three top teams walked away with 3 points from their weekend fixtures, and thus the top of the table remains unchanged. 4th place Roma beat Internazionale in a high-scoring game with a whopping 4-3 victory. I think that game is on YouTube now, but only the highlights. We'll try and get something shared on our socials.
Moving over into what is quickly becoming one of my favorite leagues to talk about, La Liga MX Femenil in Mexico is hot. Now, we say this every week, and it's because it is week after week by far the closest table race that we are seeing worldwide. Heading into this past week of games, the top 4 teams were separated by only 4 points, top to bottom. Unal in first with 25, Atlas in second with 24, Monterrey in third with 22, and Guadalajara in fourth with 21. So this week we saw second place Atlas clash with 4th place Guadalajara in a high-scoring game that ended 3-3 with both teams walking away with 1 point. Wow.
Meow.
Meow. Later in the week, Atlas took home 3 points while middle of the table America pulled off an upset and tied first place Unal 2-2. So this leaves the table much different than what we left it as last week. And it now looks like Atlas moving into first place with 27 points. Unal falling into second with 26 points. However, they do have a game in hand. Guadalajara in third with 24 points. And Unam moving into the top 4, tied with Guadalajara at 24 points. And Monterrey, previously in third, fell all the way to 5th place.
I actually hadn't caught up with the Mexican League, so thank you for filling me in on that. And I believe last season Monterrey were like legit the team, and now they're in 5th place. Just shows the ever-changing landscape of women's football. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So exciting. And speaking of the ever-changing landscape of women's football, the Champions League. Leg 1 of the quarterfinals is going to be played on Tuesday coming up, March 23rd, and Wednesday the 24th of March. These matchups are wild. Anything could happen, and we're not just saying that. Genuinely, anything could happen in these games. This is the new world of women's football where top teams are all pretty much equally matched. We've got PSG versus Lyon.
Woo!
We've got Barcelona versus Man City. Meow. We've got Chelsea.
Meow.
I want a different animal noise for each one. We've got Chelsea versus Wolfsburg.
Woof, woof.
And we've got Bayern versus Rosengard. So 2 French teams, 1 Spanish team, 2 English teams, 1 German team, and 1 Swedish team.
I love
and
it.
We'll talk more about this after a short advert break.
Have you checked out Total Football Analysis yet? TotalFootballAnalysis.com provides researched analysis on loads of football games, including women's football. Want to know why Miedemar scores so many goals? Do you want to explore how City have turned it around this season? Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and sign up to learn more about the beautiful game. We have a special discount for listeners of the Women's Soccer Show. At checkout, type WOSO10 to get a full year for €10. That's €40 off the yearly subscription. Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and type WOSO10 at checkout.
Loving the diversity of teams that we're seeing in the Champions League. Meow, as Helen would say. So we thought it would be really fun if the two of us would pick winners for each game. And I've devised a little bit of a new bet for us. So from here on out in the Champions League, we are going to make picks for every single game in both legs. And whoever finishes with the most correct guesses wins the bet. So we do need to decide on what we're betting on, but we can do that either on Twitter and throw it out to the public, or we can just decide on that later today. But starting right now, this is the beginning of the bet. We have both picked our 4 winners of these 4 matches of leg 1. Helen, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Okay, go on then. For the PSG versus Lyon game, I'm going to go out there and I'm putting my arse on the line, or as you would say, ass on the line. I'm going for a PSG win.
Ooh, wee! I'm going for a Lyon win. My reasoning being because PSG won earlier in the year. Lyon's a very veteran team. They've been to the Champions League before. It's already hard enough to beat a team twice in a row like Lyon. Put it in a Champions League spot, and I think it's going to be Lyon.
Yeah, I feel like all of those points are really legitimate.
Thank you.
I think that Lyon could easily win it, and it could easily be an absolute walkover. But I think if we're talking quality of actual team, I think PSG are a more quality team. And everyone at home's like, well, Lyon are the best team in the world. And it's like, okay, football's changing a lot.
We still get to see our PSG-Lyon matchup, even though it's not for the battle of the French division. We still get to watch it, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, and I'm so excited as well, because whatever happens in this, you can bet the team that loses are going to be furious and then go for that league game like and that's me doing like a dog barking kind of angry noise. But yeah,
this is an episode full of animal sounds apparently. Well, second matchup that we have on this list is Barcelona versus Man City. Barcelona, who Helen have already picked multiple times in episodes that we've put out to win the entire Champions League, and her team, her girls, her heart and soul, Manchester City. So Helen, who did you pick?
Barcelona.
Woo! Okay.
I think Barcelona are the best team in Europe. Today, did you see my tweets this morning? I think you woke up to them, did you say? Honestly.
I woke up to a lot of tweets from Helen, and it was just so many notifications, and I was like, "Uh-oh, Helen's gotten into it again on Twitter. I need to go like all these tweets and defend my girl."
I live for a bit of a feistiness that's not nasty. It's just about football, you know. I'm not hurting anyone's feelings.
Are you going to give us a bit of a rundown right now?
Someone said to me, "I don't disagree with the sentiment, but the equality of the WSL overall is better than Spain." Wrong! Chelsea and City would absolutely wallop some of the mid-table and lower sides, and you'd see double figures in some cases. Wrong! I think, just to say on that, I think anybody that says the WSL is better than the Spanish League can definitely say that. As in, like, anyone that can say 100% the WSL is better than the Spanish League hasn't watched much Spanish League football. That's all I'll say. I just
agree.
think, like, yeah, probably hypothetically, if we're just going to, like, match up a 10th place Spanish team against Man City, yeah, they probably would wallop them. But if you put Bristol against Barcelona, they'd probably wallop them. So
absolutely.
I don't think I don't think that it's fair to say that they're dissimilar. And we've done this whole NWSL versus WSL thing, and actually they're just different leagues. All I will say is, who got to the Champions League final last time round, lads? Oh yeah, Barcelona.
There it is.
There it is.
I have also picked Barcelona in this matchup.
You?
I have, yeah.
I think that this could be really tight, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but I do think Barcelona will beat City. So Chelsea v Wolfsburg. Everyone's talking about this one.
Well, I think everybody's picking this as a potential upset for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I've stuck with Chelsea, to be honest. I think that they're the strongest team in the WSL, and I think that they have the strength in the team and the players to beat Wolfsburg.
I think Chelsea have what it takes to win any game in the world, and they have a game plan. For instance, I think Chelsea were 2-0 down against Arsenal. They'd probably have a way of getting back into the game because they just do.
You know, we saw the fight from them. We saw the fight from them in the past couple of weeks. This is not just a top team that has top players that rolls over teams and has never experienced adversity. They've got fight, and I think that they're going to take it out. Yeah.
The other thing I'll say is, on the devil's advocate side, Wolfsburg have knocked Chelsea out of this tournament before. In fact, I think Chelsea have a terrible record against Wolfsburg. If I recall, 2019, Wolfsburg knocked Chelsea out at the semi-final stage. So this is no walk in the park, but Wolfsburg did knock Chelsea out with the likes of Pernille Harder in their team. So the tables are very much turned. And as I keep saying throughout this episode, and it's kind of like my staple point for this season, women's football changes so much season on season because the teams really like Real Madrid just turning up and being like, we want to be counted. Mm-hmm. So the leagues are changing so much, teams are changing so much, and I don't think Wolfsburg are quite the team that they were a year ago, 2 years ago.
That's a good point.
Bayern versus Rosengard. What we saying?
I've got Bayern.
Me too.
Of all four of these fixtures, this was the easiest one to pick for me.
Bayern are the underdogs of this tourno for me. Them in Barcelona. I think that they've got a class team with some incredible players, and I think that they'll have potentially the most comfortable quarterfinal, so they might go into the next round a little bit more rested, whereas I think this could take it out of other clubs potentially this round because it's really, really tough fixtures.
So quick recap, the only game we differ on is PSG Lyon, so whoever wins that is going to be ahead in the bet.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, mate. You were asleep when it happened, but the international friendly fixtures just suddenly dropped. And I literally was like, wake up, Sarah. I was texting you. It's 4 o'clock in the morning for you. I was like, Sarah, oh my God. I was tweeting from our joint account from the Woso Show, everybody, oh my God, I'm so buzzing. So US Women's National Team, how are you feeling about April 10th against Sweden?
So excited. April 10th against Sweden, April 13th versus France. Let's be honest, I'm excited to see us play Sweden. It's always a fun matchup. Got a little history there, getting knocked out of the Olympics by Sweden. So that's always fun. But all eyes are on April 13th versus France. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Potentially game of the World Cup in 2019, and we get the rematch. So excited.
They're going to come to that wanting to win.
Everybody wants blood out of that game for sure. That's not a friendly. So I'll throw it to you. England also coming out with 2 friendlies that we get to watch.
So we're also playing France, which I think could be the first really tough fixture that we've played in a long, long time. As in, we played Northern Ireland and it was always going to be comfortable. And then obviously got Canada as well. So I am super excited about that. I'm really excited about both fixtures. I think Canada's going to be the most equal test for us at the moment at this stage of our kind of development and our reinitiation into the world of having a proper manager.
It wouldn't be a Woso Show episode if Helen didn't trash Phil Neville.
No, but I'm actually secretly a little bit more excited about that Canada game because also obviously the return, it'll be ex-England assistant manager coming back against England, and I think it could be the most sort of equal match that we have. I think France could comfortably beat us, but I think it could be a real learning for us. And then in April as well, we are going to be busy bees. Challenge Cup! We're
going to say it every week until April 9th. The Challenge Cup starts on April 9th. And listen, Helen, just listen to this week. Are you ready for this? Soccer fans, just cancel all your plans if you have any for April 9th through April 14th, because I'm just going to tell you right now what you're going to be doing. Here we go. April 9th, we got the Challenge Cup beginning and England versus France friendly. April 10th, 2 Challenge Cup games and US versus Sweden. April 13th, US versus France and England versus Canada. Mind you, then you move on to the next day, April 14th, and we've got more Challenge Cup games.
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of giving you some behind the scenes knowledge here. Sarah and I are already preparing our Instagram content of games and world maps and what's going on. And we are going to try our absolute best in April to just keep you guys up to date with all the fixtures, all the times around the world and everything that's going on. I hope we do a good enough job. I'm really nervous.
We're going to do a great job. I don't know what you're talking about.
It is a bit of an annoying one for the NWSL because they'll be missing their US Women's National Team players and some other players as well who are doing those international fixtures at the start of the Challenge Cup.
I haven't read any releases or statements about that, but my assumption is that as soon as that FIFA window closes, as the friendlies come to an end, those players will rejoin their teams and be a part of the Challenge Cup. So they'll really only be missing for the first part of it.
Well, those other players... This could be their opportunity. So as much as I feel like that's always like, oh, that's a bit of a bummer, I also love what that brings for other players. Like there'll be other players going, I might get my opportunity because
Absolutely.
XYZ isn't here. So I feel like this has been a great episode because it's been like a great week, but also there's so much to look forward to. That's kind of just got me in a really good mood.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So
Thank
exciting.
you so much for tuning in, everybody. I've been Helen.
I've been Sarah.
And we're the Women's Soccer Show.
Bye.